Counter-Narrative News, bringing you daily news today on Wednesday, the 19th of April, 2023. Going to Indonesia, the Indonesian state is preparing for a massive military offensive against the oppressed and colonized West Papuan people in its state. This is following the West Papuan Liberation Army's capture of a pilot from New Zealand in a small plane in their territories called Philip Mark Martins, who is in their hands. This is also in the context of the Western Papuan Liberation Army conducting a very effective resistance operation against the Indonesian army, having killed some dozen soldiers and also captured a whole bunch, in which they released video footage showing that. Going forward, it's going to be very difficult for the Indonesian army to conduct their massive military offensive now against the West Papuan Liberation Movement, because they have mass support amongst their people. It's in mountainous and thick jungle terrain, making it extremely difficult for an invading colonial force to seek any strategic victories there. In England, there is a children's mental health unit at the Humbercombe Hospital in Maidenhead. Now, the relevance of this place will be clear in a second. Since 2019, there has been 2,875 incidents of sexual misconduct and abuse on children in secure mental health institutions in England. 57% of this total, that's 1,643 incidents, have all taken place since 2019 in one unit at the Humbercombe Hospital in Maidenhead. This is a massive institutional sexual abuse problem here in children's mental health units. And also you can understand and reflect upon how the far right and people like Stephen Yaxley Lennon, otherwise known as Tommy Robinson, are trying to divert everyone's attention into one ethnic groups, and in that's the Pakistani community, and in that a tiny minority of organized disgusting men who organize sexual abuse of women and girls. Even the British government report has stated very clearly that you cannot identify any ethnic group as being responsible for organized sexual abuse. However, it's still very clear that institutions of the state, as shown in this report, of the amount of nearly 3,000 incidents of sexual misconduct in children's mental health units, shows that there is real questions to be asked and a justice campaign to be developed around protecting some of the most vulnerable humans, that is children going through mental health ordeals and experiences and in these institutions. Finally, the mother of Stephen Lawrence, who was a young black youth killed in 1993 in Eltham in southeast London. Doreen Lawrence has been campaigning for justice for her son, and only two of the perpetrators of his racist attack that led to his tragic death have been convicted. Doreen Lawrence has said that 30 years on from the killing of her son, that Metropolitan Police in London are still as brutal as ever, and basically she has said that they can brutalize as much as they want with near total impunity. She asks rhetorically, how many investigations and inquiries does there need to be for the obvious to be stated? And Doreen Lawrence is absolutely correct, and solidarity and love to her and her family and friends around what happened to Stephen Lawrence. She is correct. 3 decades on, and decades on from even the British state admitting that their own police force were quote-unquote institutionally racist, the police are as violent and as abusive as ever. But what we relatively don't have, that we had in the 90s, even around the Stephen Lawrence campaign and other campaigns like Roland Adams and others, is a kind of healthy, grassroots, radical, militant movement towards justice, and that's what we need to develop again. We'd like to leave you with these clips from an amazing set back in 1996, because we were shared with it by an old high school friend, so big up the White Flats and Handwall crew, and we were shared by this, and it's Funky Flirt on the decks, it's Shabba, Skibber, rest in peace, Yankee and Navigator all on the mic. It's just amazing set. and so we wanted to share some clips with you for your enjoyment. Have a fantastic day, and that's Counter Narrative News. Please continue to support us by encouraging your friends and contacts to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on counter_CNN on Twitter, and we wish you a great day. Thank you.
All masses, right to the sound. Now, you ain't heard nothing yet. Gonna get with the rest of the fat. I got to make him move with a twist on that. That's what I expect. You ain't heard nothing yet. Gonna get with the rest of the fat. I got to make him move with a twist on that. That's what I expect. Gonna get, who gonna get, gonna get. Who gonna get with the rest of the fat? Who gonna be fat and go black? Step back, the mind to get back. Get, who gonna get, gonna get. Who gonna get with the rest of the fat? Who gonna be fat and go black? Shabba, come cha-cha. Come! I feel the combination time. Some see the sign but them choose to be blind. Who tell them now? Once upon a time upon a rhyming adventure. Fuck up one a big time jungle promoter. Yes he said to Shabba. Yes he want a fixture. Love the way you come down with a mixture. Get a little richer than better entertainer. Buy some powder, turn big timer. Still in a me head. Me have the lyrics that me know. Who like the ice? Who like the water? Me a the mic man to take away your daughter. And when me come, you should know me a the scorcher. It's Skipperty, now with road boy shop. Do no type of challenge way. Out of the band with the Lamborghini Yankee. The Shabby, Skibbity, the Navi. Do no type of challenge way. Out of the band with the Lamborghini Yankee. The Shabby, Navi with the Skibbity. Do no type of challenge way. Out of the band with the Lamborghini Yankee. The Shabby, Navi, the Skibbity. Out of the band with the Lamborghini. Put them in the number some three. When the right for the minute when NYC. Fans to get lively. It's gonna get dangerous. Don't get nervous, bringing the hype. And my purpose on the ground. And I can hold the loops and the motion leads to the surface. Beat them up or no. You have to bring them up. DJ a sing, MC a shoot. Beat them up or no. You have to bring them up. Come down Shabadi. I'm Zeb Cross. Up for the mic, I jump for the rhythm, I jump for the chorus. Up for the mic, I jump for the rhythm, I jump for the chorus. Up for the mic, I jump for the rhythm, the chorus. Easy daddy Shabba, you know you're fabulous. When it comes to lyrics, me well marvelous. When it comes to style, I'm well serious. MC Giant just me start get dangerous. Who the on the mic, don't give a fuck now, don't give a fuss. Some of us can't get enough for the junglist to go past my stuff. Under the gun with the big mouth, get up, do not move and listen us. Some of the rappers can't get enough for the junglist to go past my stuff. Under the gun with the big mouth, get up, do not move and listen us. Stop, dangerous, who for the mic up, fabulous. MC Giant, they wanna get past, gonna hold your backseat, gonna hush. Stop, dangerous, who for the mic, don't get nervous. If MC Giant, they get past, gonna hold your backseat, gonna hush. Now when I'm bumping on the grass, sound to the bass, get a better off this way. Like the MC on the case, on the bass, make you jump straight away, always. Now when I'm bumping on the grass, sound to the bass, get a better off this way, this way, this way, to apathy. Yes. As we take it down inside, reaching out to our raving massive, looking absolutely brilliant.